Chapter 4, Analyzing the Competitive Situation, Part 1, Identifying Competitors. Okay, so in the external environment, one of the key threats is the competition, your competitors. Companies should assess the impact of competition before they invest in a specific opportunity. So in other words, they should first consider what competitors are out there in the market before they get involved in that market. And today there are many competitors in the market because of globalization. Companies from all over the world compete with one another. It's not just local companies that are competing with one another. And everyone's fighting for a small piece of the pie, what we call market share. Okay, so what this does is it reduces the profits that each company can make. But it's very good for customers and consumers because it increases the value because all the competitors are trying to outdo one another. And they're offering better and better quality. Okay, so it's not always easy to identify one's competitors. So a model has been developed to help marketers. The model breaks the competitors up into 4 levels. Level 1 is called the same product or service, and that's your direct competitors. Level 2 is the same product or service category, that's indirect competitors. Level 3 is companies that satisfy the same need. And then lastly, level 4, companies that try to access the same spending power. Now, okay, what do all those 4 mean? We're going to look at them individually now. Okay, and we're going to use a chocolate to explain this. A Tempo. I wonder if there's any Tempo lovers out there. Okay, so the first level is the same product or service. So what product is a direct competitor to Tempo? In other words, it's exactly the same product, just a different brand. Well, a perfect example would be a Bar 1. That's a level 1 competitor. It's the same size, and it's probably going to cost around something similar. So if a customer doesn't want a Tempo, they can go for a Bar 1, and often these products are right next to each other in the store. Level 2 would be the same product or service category. So let's say you're looking for something sweet. You usually buy a Tempo, but you're not going to get another chocolate because you're just not in the mood for chocolate. So in the sweets aisle at a Pick n Pay or a ShopRite or a Checkers, there are chocolates, but there are also other types of sweets. Now that's the category. Chocolate falls into the sweets category, and there are many different types of sweets. So instead of getting a Tempo or a Bar 1, you could maybe get a packet of sour worms. That would be a level 2 competitor. Okay, similar category in the sweets category. Then we have level 3. Now these are products that satisfy the same need. So the need here is to either snack, right, or to have a sweet, specifically a sweet snack. But it's a snack. That's what a Tempo is. You don't eat the Tempo as a meal. You eat it as a snack or maybe as a dessert. So some other examples of snacks in this case would be a packet of Simba chips. Maybe you don't want a sweet snack like a Tempo. You want a savory snack. Or it could be a Magnum ice cream. Also like a dessert, like something sweet but not a chocolate or a packet of sweets. Okay, so that's level 3. All the products that satisfy the same need. And then lastly, level 4. Now these are products that... Okay, so let's look at spending power. Usually customers budget for things in their lives. They'll budget a specific amount for groceries. They'll budget another amount for their rent, for fuel, and so forth. And there's usually only a small amount that they would budget for snacks and sweets and things. Okay? And not just for snacks and sweets, but for anything that's extra. Okay, and snacks and sweets would fall into that category. Now, when all people's expenses are paid, let's say they only have 500 Rand for the month to buy, or let's say it's just 100 Rand for the month to buy snacks or to do fun things. So that person could spend their 100 Rand on buying a chocolate, or maybe a chocolate every day, right? Or that wouldn't even, maybe a chocolate every second day. That's how they'd spend the 100 Rand. Or they'd buy a chocolate once a week and a packet of sweets once a week. Or they'd buy a Magnum only once a week because it's very expensive, and so they're going to spend that on there with their 100 Rand. But other ways that money could be spent could be, for example, to buy a takeout. Right? It's something extra. You could eat at home, but you're in the mood for a takeaway. So you go buy a takeaway. Okay? A little bit more expensive, but that is buying into that same spending power because it's a treat. Okay? Another thing that you could buy with that money is to go watch a movie. Right? Okay, you're only going to be able to use that 100 Rand now once for the whole month, but it's still the same spending power that's being used. It's the extra things. Okay? So be careful to consider which competitors compete with a company on each level. Not just the direct competitors, but also the indirect, those products that satisfy the same need, as well as those that you wouldn't even normally think of, like a movie. Would you have thought that Ster-Kinekor is a competitor of Cadbury's? Well, in this case they are, because it's all luxury money. And if you're buying 10 tempos in a month, maybe you can't go watch a movie. And if you buy one movie, maybe you can't buy as many tempos. So they are competing with each other.